I'm presenting on the social problem of poverty among refugees, and I'm going to have Erin Burchick, who is the outreach coordinator of a nonprofit that partners with the refugee organizations and helping them adapt to resettling in America and helping them adapt to a new culture. And I'm going to have her discuss the overview of the poverty among the refugees and go in a little more detail of that.
Yeah, so to start off, what a refugee is a refugee is someone who is seeking refuge from a social problem in their country of origin. So, right now we have a large number of refugees coming in from the Middle East, mostly from Iraq, because they're trying to seek refuge from the war in Iraq. We have a large number of refugees from Burma, because there's a lot of religious and social persecution going on in Burma, so we have a really large number of Burmese people coming into the U.S. And so when they get here, they are usually coming from refugee camps in their country of origin, so they are living together in these camps, and then they choose to come over and they get a refugee organization to bring them over to the United States, and then they're resettled here. In Georgia, the majority of refugees are resettled in Clarkston, and it's just about a 1 mile in diameter little town kind of a thing, and it is the most diverse square mile in the entire United States. There are people from all over the place, from Africa, from the Middle East, from Asia, from South America. I mean, you could be talking to somebody and be talking to somebody from every continent. But it is, so when they get here, they oftentimes face a lot of different trials. I mean, one huge thing is just coming over, experiencing total culture shock from their country of origin. It's just totally different from, Iraq or from Burma or wherever. And when they get here, they have to learn American culture. They don't speak English most of the time, so they've got to learn English. And they have to, settle into their apartment, get their family situated, and then, hopefully find a job. Well, this is really hard to do because when they come over, they have a refugee organization that helps them transition into living here in America, and that organization can help them usually for 3 months. That's the most common amount of time that they have to help them adapt to U.S. Life and culture, and to help them get a job. And so after 3 months, their money runs out and they're not able to get any more federal funding. And so the hope is that, in that short time, they would learn English, get job training, find a job, and all of that, which it just really doesn't happen a lot. And that's what really leads to poverty among refugees. So usually, they have to spend a year or more figuring out how to do life here, how to, acclimate themselves and their families to this culture, and then just, trying to find a job. And usually, when they find a job, they're either working at a chicken factory or they are, doing some kind of odd job like that where it's very low pay, it's really hard to get to. They are living in Clarkston, which is inside the perimeter, but then maybe they're driving 2 hours outside of the perimeter, so they're having to find rides and find buses and all these things. And so it's just a huge problem. But the refugee organizations like World Relief, IRC, RISA, all these organizations are working to help these refugees find jobs and, be able to ultimately have a better life here in America. But it's a really difficult thing. The major stakeholders in this are the largest is ORR, which is the Office of Refugee Resettlement, I believe, and they are the ones who kind of oversee these other organizations, and so they are the ones who, they set the amount of money, the amount of time, and all of those things that these refugees can get and receive, and then the ORR also kind of sets the laws and, they kind of oversee that whole process. And there's a number of other organizations and agencies that help the refugees. I mean, a lot of times, a lot falls onto the Department of Family and Children's Services, depending on what state they're in. A lot of times it's the Office of Immigration. Oftentimes it's just the Department of Human Resources, and they bear a lot of the weight from the need that these refugees have, because a lot of them have lots of children, and maybe their children aren't being cared for. They need medical care or to be enrolled in school or food stamps or whatever. So they, those organizations work to provide the refugee families with what they need. So yeah, I think